Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Angel and I'm your host for Friday Free Radio. This is a show where we talk about anything and everything, so please feel free to leave comments down below on what topics you want me to discuss. And since this is for the Pretzel channel, some days I'll be with other guests and other Pretzel members, so stay tuned for the future episodes. I decided on making this Pretzel Radio show because I actually am a big fan of radio shows, and a lot of people have told me that I have a good voice for radio. Not 100% sure of that, but I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. This first show is pre-recorded, but future shows might be live streamed or broadcasted in real time. So click on the notification bell down below because they won't always be on Fridays and you'll be notified whenever we have a live stream. So let's start off today's show with a song. I'm going to be playing G-Dragon's song from his latest album, and it's called Middle Fingers Up. I hope you guys enjoyed the track. Unfortunately, because of copyright reasons, I'm only going to be playing a short sample of each song, but I'm definitely going to leave the links to each song that I play on the show in the description box down below so you can check them out once you're done watching the show. So for our first show, we'll be discussing 21 things that I think girls should know before they're 21, which was kindly suggested by Lynn, who does the Wednesday videos on Pretzel. I'm technically not 21 yet, but I still have a couple of months to learn these things because my birthday is in September. So yeah, let's start with the first thing. The first thing that I want to tell you guys is to not ignore your family. Spend as much time as you can with them. I know that a lot of girls that are a bit younger than me, around like the high school age or maybe the same age as me, want to spend more time with their friends and not with their family, which is not really the correct thing to do because you're only with your family a couple of months before you leave the nest, so why not spend as much time as you can with them? You can have friends all the time, you can gain new friends, but you only have one family. The next thing is that the things you worry about in high school won't matter afterwards, like cliques and popularity. It doesn't matter after you graduate, especially social media popularity. This is a huge thing nowadays. Back when I was in high school, social media was already a thing, but it wasn't as big as it is now. Popularity things and cliques were already a thing, so I guess I can vouch for that. The girls my age were always thinking about how well known they are at school, how many friends they have that are popular. And at some point I was one of those girls, but I realized that my friends don't have to be popular, and high school isn't a popularity game. Those people who just want to like a certain thing so that they could be friends with a certain set of people. That doesn't matter. Be friends with people who have the same interests as you and just enjoy high school. That's not, as I've said, it's not a popularity game. The next thing that I want to tell you guys is you don't need to put down other people to feel better about yourself, and also to stop the girl on girl hate. As I've mentioned, social media is a big part of teenagers and young adults' lives these days, and it's very easy to look at someone else and think, oh, she's a slut, or she wears too much makeup. And I don't think that just because you're not like them doesn't mean you have to put them down to make yourself feel better about yourself. Don't compare yourself. That's another thing. Don't compare your beginning to another person's middle. At some point, maybe that person who you're looking at and you're comparing yourself to them might be where you are now, because we're all growing at a different rate. I'm guilty of comparing myself to other people, and I think that's something that you have to go through in life, but don't make it go to the point that you're already feeling super insecure because you're not achieving what that other person is achieving. The next piece of advice that I'm going to bring upon to you people is that you don't need to have a lot of friends. There was a point in my life where I just made friends with everyone because I wanted to be popular, but that didn't really happen, and I realized that I don't need a lot of friends. I just need to have a set group of friends and build good relationships with them, because those friends are the friends that will stick with you throughout your life. Because if you just make friends for popularity or just for the sake of having friends, they won't really stick with you. You're lucky if they stick with you for your entire life, but it's not necessarily the case for everyone. Next is that you don't have to be lonely just because you're alone. As I've said, you don't have to have a lot of friends, and sometimes there are points in your life where you feel like you don't have any friends, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's good to be alone at some points of your life. That's where you learn to be more independent, to not follow what other people are doing, and just be yourself. That's a really good time to learn more about yourself. The last thing that I'm going to be advising to younger girls regarding friends and family is, if something makes you happy or if something makes another person happy, go for it. You don't have to change what you like to please other people, and it all comes down to respect. There was this one time I was watching Amber, Amber from FX. She had this video vlog thingy on YouTube, and she was discussing that one of her friends wanted to get plastic surgery, and she was totally against it. She didn't. She was like, "Why do you want to change your face?" Amber had tattoos, so that was like a body modification. So her friend was like, "Why are you putting me down when you yourself have changed something on your body?" Something that didn't matter to her might have meant something to another person. So it really just all comes down to respect. Respect other people. Respect what they want to do with their lives, because it's not your life. Don't judge people based on their religion or their sexual orientation. This is a really huge problem in the world now, especially in Eastern Asia, is that people need to learn to respect other people's opinions and preferences. So that started to get really deep, so let's go on to the next track that I'm going to be playing for you guys. And this song is Next Town Down, and it's called Good Times. And my friend Chelsea from Pretzel actually made a lyric video for this song, so you better check it out. I'm gonna link it in the description down below, so let's listen to that one. The next few things that I'm going to be discussing regarding 21 things that I want girls to learn before they're 21 is about relationships. And I don't have a lot of experience, to be honest, but I have a couple of things that I want to advise. So the first thing is to learn to love yourself before you try to love another person. If you're just loving a person for the sake of having someone to tell you good things about yourself, that's not a right relationship, because I don't know, I feel like you're using the other person to have more emotional gain. So you're supposed to be supporting each other. It's not a one-way street. Love isn't a one-way street. Next thing is that, this is another thing that I learned pretty recently, is that don't think that boys think the same way you do. I've seen this in so many relationships that girls get upset over guys not doing what they want or not being the person the girl wants the guy to be. And this is because guys, as much as I want equality, guys don't think the same way girls do. It's just a fact of life. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Don't think that they have the same wavelength as you. Just be a bit more like slower with them, because they're a bit slower at catching up on things, especially if you're like being vague with them, I feel like. Or don't tell them to do something where you mean the opposite of it. Like, girls do that. Guys take everything straightforwardly. So don't think that they're gonna think the same way that you are. This is really important for girls who are a bit younger and like in the high school years. It's don't go into a relationship just for the sake of having a boyfriend. I know it's really like looked down upon to be single, and there's nothing wrong with being single. Trust me, okay? If you're only getting into a relationship to be popular or to be like to have that experience of having a boyfriend, it's not right. The last one in regards of relationships is do not depend your happiness on other people. Please don't be upset. Well, you can be upset for a while, but don't get depressed when you get out of a relationship, because your happiness isn't clung onto the other person. It's within yourself. Happiness is something that you have and isn't given to you. Don't think that people are gonna take your happiness away from you, because they can't. It all depends on yourself. As you progress into the next part of my list of advice, let's listen first to another song. I feel like that was really quick. This is the third track that I'm going to be playing, and this is called the November song by KRIS. Play. Wow, that fade. The last category that I want to talk about is something that's the most important part, and this is within yourself. The first thing is that I want to tell you to pursue your passion. I'm not telling you to stop studying and try to live off of your hobby and like try to be a full-time YouTuber. I'm just saying that if you're pursuing a different career path, that doesn't mean you have to stop doing what you love or like stop enjoying hobbies, because it's called a hobby for a reason. It's not something that you have to do for the rest of your life. It's something that you can relax off of. You're lucky if you could earn money off of your hobby and go for it, because that's a great thing. But if it's not something you can live off of, or it's not something you can earn money off of, don't worry. You can still do that. And also, just because something isn't going the way that you want, for example, if you want to take a certain course or a certain program in college and you end up not taking that course, it doesn't mean everything isn't going to be alright. You can't control what happens, but you can control how you react to it. There's always a positive side to anything. I myself have felt these experiences. I wanted to take a journalism course for college, but I ended up taking IT, and I feel like I still love journalism and I would do it if I had the chance to do it, but IT is still fun and it was a great experience. It made me into the person that I am now. So yeah, I appreciate everything that I've done throughout my IT life. And the next thing that I want to tell you guys is to keep an open mind about everything and don't be afraid to try new things. This is something that I have never struggled with, but I feel like a lot of people struggle with. I'm really the type of person who likes to enjoy new experiences, and just don't be afraid to try it. Try them all, like just for the sake of trying it. Not drugs though. If you want to do it, go for it, but I personally will never do drugs. This has gone into a weird tangent, so let's just move on. The next thing is to find something to believe in. It's not necessarily a religion or some other force in the universe. Just believe in a person or your passion, or believe in yourself at least. Like, have something that will make you wake up every single day with a smile on your face. The next thing is that material things aren't the only things that can give you satisfaction. I've learned this the hard way. You guys have seen my hauls on my channel. Link is in the description box down below. Buying stuff can make you feel great for a while, but it's not the be-all and end-all for your happiness. Don't think that people who are rich or people who have a lot of things in life are happy, because most of the time there's still something that's lacking in their life. We all have something that's lacking in our lives. The next thing that I want to talk about is something that I'm really passionate about, and it's to do your part for the environment. I know that a lot of people my age don't really care about the environment anymore, because like they're so caught up in like the technology and like the easiness of life when it comes to transportation or like food, or just try to do your part, even if it's just planting a tree or growing or eating more vegetables and fruit instead of meat. And I feel like this is something that we need to focus a lot more on, because this is our home. The earth is our only home, and even if it's not for yourself, do it for the generations that come after us. So yeah, take care of the earth, please. Please. The next thing is something actually that my mom told me a couple of weeks ago, and it really had a big impact on myself, because I'm a massive worrier and I worry about things so much. And it's that worrying is like a rocking boat. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't take you anywhere. So I feel like a lot of people worry about things that never really happen. It's become my mindset to not think about things too much, not to dwell on things too much, because I spend so much time thinking about things and how things are gonna happen, because I'm a massive control freak, and those things don't really happen. So then I feel really silly that I spent so much energy on that certain thing. The next thing I wanna tell you guys is to don't be ashamed to feel good about yourself. So many girls want validation from men that they're beautiful. Don't put yourself down, girl. Don't feel bad about yourself. Every girl is beautiful, and don't be ashamed. Don't think that people are gonna think that you're narcissistic or conceited because you feel good about yourself. Next thing is to not put a label on yourself. This is something that I've struggled on for a couple of years, and I felt like I had to have a specific style, I guess, and try to be a style chameleon. Don't be afraid to experiment with new styles, with new hairdos, with new fashion and new makeup, because it's fun. And don't just enclose yourself in a specific category. My last tip is that life is tough, but you're tougher. You've gone this far in life. You've spent however many years on this earth. Whatever you were a couple of years ago, you're probably wishing you were where you are now. Does that make sense? Whatever life brings upon you, you can probably do it. I believe in you. The next song that we are going to be discussing, I'm going to be playing, is Late Bloomer, and this is by one of my favorite YouTubers, and her name is Haley Blade. Late Bloomer. Oh. Now it's time for the free talk segment of the show. This is a part of the show where I talk about random stuff. And since I am alone right now, I just use a random question conversation generator, random topic generator, while you guys were listening to the awesome song by Haley Blay. So yeah, the question is, what do you think your life will look like in 10 years? I want you guys to answer this as well in the comments down below. I think in 10 years, I'm gonna be 30 or 31. I'll probably have a stable job already. I want to already have a family by that time. I want to have a husband, and I want to have 2 kids, maybe 3 kids, and I want to be living somewhere where I want to grow old. I don't want to move around too much because I think I've said this in a couple of videos before. I want to have my kids live in a place where they grow up in and where they can come back to when they're older. So I want to have a stable place to live in. And regarding myself, I want to actually, I don't think I want to have a stable job, because before I get married, I think I want to have a stable job by then. And then once I get married, I want to move on to like an at-home job, so I could focus more on building a good home for my kids. And yeah, this kind of fits into today's topic. Why do I have so much hair on my shirt? What's the worst thing about your gender? I've talked about so many empowering things to women today, and now I'm going to talk about the worst thing about my gender. The worst thing about my gender, I guess, is that I've mentioned it earlier, it's the girl on girl hate. I feel like a lot of girls are very comparative, is that the right word? Like, they compare themselves a lot to other girls, and if one girl is doing better than another girl, they try to put that girl down, which is not the right thing to do. And yeah, also girls are a lot more complicated, and you can see that as a bad thing, but yeah, girls are a lot more complicated, which is why I used to have a lot of guy friends. So yeah. Anyways, let's play the last track for today, and this is a song. Of course, I'm gonna fit in some basics into here, but this isn't something from their album or any of their mini albums. This is from their soundtrack. This is a cover of Sugo Sa Mundo, or Well Done Again My Friend, and this is their English version of it. So let's listen to that. Korean lyrics. Yes, okay. So this has been Friday Free Radio. I'm Angel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll leave you guys with the final track for today, and it is called Better Together by Jack Johnson. There's no combination of words I could put on the back of a postcard. No song that I could sing, but I could try for your heart. Our dreams, and they're made out of real things, like a shoebox of photographs of sepia tone loving. Love is the answer, at least for most of the questions in my heart. Why we here and where we go.